How to substitute yarn for your crochet or knitting project. Hello crocheters, Vitania here from the Hobbyist on the road. When I release a new pattern, I often get asked if that pattern can be made with a different yarn. And the answer, of course, is yes. So today we'll have a look at the yarn I used for my latest project, Baltic Vibes Fingerless Gloves and Mittens. And we'll see how we can find a good substitution. In fact, substituting yarn is very easy, and all you need to know is two main components. So let's have a look at the label. Our label has all the information that we need to know, shows the yardage. On this label, it's marked as weight/length. And the content. And these are the two main components we'll be looking at. So for ease of reading, I'll just write it down. So the yardage of this yarn is in 50 grams or 1.8 ounces. We have 210 meters. Or 230 yards. So this is our yardage. Now, in order to find a good substitution yarn, we need to find another yarn which is as close to this yardage as possible. So for example, I have another label here. It's actually also drops yarn, but it's a Fabel. And let's see what the label tells us. Okay, so this in a 50-gram ball, we have 205 meters or 224 yards. That's the yardage. In a 50-gram ball, or 1.8 ounces, is 205 meters or 224 yards. Okay, so straight away we can see that the yardage is very similar. Now, by the way, the number of gram is not so important. It could be 100-gram ball here, but we would simply just do the maths and and compare the yardage that way. So, okay, in 50 gram, in the recommended yarn, we have 210 meters, and in 50 gram of this new yarn, substitution yarn, we have 205 meters. So, okay, it's not ideally matched. This yarn is thicker by 5 meters, just only very little, but it would be a good substitution. For me, I go plus or minus 20 meters, or the equivalent of yards. I can't tell you off the top of my head because I think in meters. So even if this was by 20 meters or 15 meters off, I would still consider it a good substitution. So, okay, this is also the original yarn is 100% wool. It's 65% wool and 35% alpaca, basically wool. Now, the substitution yarn, okay, it's 75% wool and 25% polyamide. So I would consider this as good substitution as any, because the majority, the biggest amount is that of wool. So I expect the actual material, once it's crocheted, to act very similarly, to be as soft as wool and to act and to look very similar to the original. Okay, now let's have a look at this other label that I have. It's Nordlys. It's actually a beautiful yarn. I'll show it. It's lovely. It's so nice and bright and cheerful. So say, for example, if I wanted to use this yarn, let's have a look if it's suitable. First of all, looking at the content here, okay, it's 75% wool and 25% nylon. So looking at the content, it looks fine. It would be suitable. But let's have a look here at the yardage. So in a 100-gram ball, or this is a 3.5 ounce ball, we have 350 meters or 385 yards. So how will I compare? So I will simply take the original 50-gram ball yarn and simply multiply it by 2. So in 100-gram or 3.5 ounces, if I multiply this by 2, it will be 420 meters or 460 yards. So as you remember, I said that I'm quite happy if the yardage is plus or minus 20 meters. But this actually, this is our substitution yarn that we are looking at, and this is the recommended yarn. So the substitution yarn is 70 meters off. If you subtract 350 from 420, that's 70 meters off. Which means it's minus 70 meters, which will not be suitable. It basically means, so although the contents is good, it's suitable, the yardage doesn't suit me at all, and that's why this yarn is not a good substitution. Now another, you may have heard, but I'll remind you again that if you're shopping online, you have a very good resource, yarnsub.com. And if you don't want to do the hard work and go through the descriptions of the yarn wherever you're shopping, you can go to this website, simply plug in the name of your yarn, the brand and the name, and you will have basically a list of substitutions that you can choose from. So I hope this video was useful for you.